Hey there, welcome to day 1095 of What You Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. I spent like 25, 27 years in corporate America in various functions, primarily quality operations. I inherited sanitation as part of my last job in corporate America, and then I left. I was actually the quality director, and then they added sanitation after about, I don't know, a month or two. They decided that I could run that function as well, which was a definite challenge for me because I had absolutely zero experience running a sanitation department. So that was pretty interesting. And then we had all kinds of fun challenges there as well, but I won't talk about that today. Today I'm thinking about easy come, easy go. It was our idiom for, or our proverb for supersize your business today. And like so often, I talk about the idiom, what it means, where it came from, and how you can use it in your business today. And at the end of that, I forget to say some of the key points and the key things that I wanted to talk about and say. Now, I use the excuse that I can't see very well, so I can't like see notes or anything. I take notes and I write down to help reinforce the learning for me. But when I have to deliver the message, I just have to go pretty much off memory. And so I forget to say things, and some things that I think are really important about the topic. And today I actually stopped and I almost redid it. And then I thought, no, it's a quick snapshot in time. It's not something that's going to last forever. You know, social media doesn't last forever. So I just let it go. But I'm still thinking, sometimes I wish I could just redo them, but then I would want to redo every single one like 10 times and I would never ever publish anything. So I think that my strategy of just saying, hey, this is it, one shot at it, that's all you get. It's a lot like improv, right? And I've never done improv. Definitely wish I had a comedic nature or a comedic talent and a timing talent. Yet that's one thing I've never developed. I'm sure if I wanted to, I could take some improv classes and I could actually do that, but it's never hit my radar as something that I could or should do. Even after being, you know, at my sister's comedy club for several years, I never thought to do that. Probably because there were so many talented, amazing people that went through that organization that I was like, yeah, no way I could ever do that. So I'm thinking today, how often do we have conversations or do we talk to people and we're talking about something and it goes in one direction and we totally lose sight of the thing that we wish we would have said? A lot of times it's in situations where we've behaved in a way that we are like, oh my God, somebody's ripping on us and we had the perfect comeback, but we didn't have it then. We couldn't think of anything to say. And then 30 seconds later or a minute later, it's like the perfect thing to say or the perfect comeback, the perfect response pops into our head. It's kind of like that with me in my videos. It's like, oh, I totally forgot to talk about long-term versus short-term consequences of having an easy come, easy go philosophy. When things come easily to us, we tend to not appreciate them as much as when we have to work for them. Here's an example. When I was younger, I wanted a stereo really, really bad. Well, I had 4 sisters, and my mom didn't work. She was a stay-at-home mom, and she was actually in politics and things like that. But my dad, and she was in unpaid politics. That was back in the day when politicians didn't make anything. And so, you know, she didn't really get any money for what she did, but she was involved in politics, you know, Women League of Voters and then town government and things. So she was doing that. My dad was working all the time, and there was no way. I wanted this very cool stereo system, and I knew there was no way I was going to be able to ask for it. I was going to have to work for it and earn it myself. Music was really important to me when I was younger. I had, you know, thousands of albums and cassette tapes. Now, some of you listening probably have never heard of an album or a cassette tape, which just makes me laugh, but I had thousands of them because I saved my money and I loved music, and so I acquired a whole lot of those things over the years. And they didn't come easy. I had to work really hard to earn that. It took me, I think, 2+ years to earn the money for my stereo so I would have it to go to college with me. And I continued working so that I could buy music. And so that's the exact opposite of easy come, easy go. It wasn't a short term, I want this now, instant gratification like we see nowadays, where somebody says, I want something, and they hop online and they order it and they've got it either the same day or within a week. You know, big and small things. And it didn't come easily. I had to work for it, but I appreciated it. And I had that stereo, geez, I think until we moved into our last house when I was still married. We moved that into that house, and I kept it for probably, I just got rid of last year when I moved the rest of my cassette tapes because I'm like, you got to really work hard to find a cassette player these days. I kept some of my educational ones, but for the most part, I let all of that stuff go to Goodwill just because I didn't want to have to deal with figuring out a way to use it and play it and enjoy it anymore. The technology has changed so much. And now you can stream just about anything you want to hear. So easy come, easy go. I think that nowadays we don't realize how good we have things, how easy we have access to things that we never did before. Even during COVID, imagine if you're old enough what this COVID experience the last year plus would have been like if it had even happened 10 years ago. Even 10 years ago, we didn't have the technology, we didn't have the infrastructure, we didn't have the distribution that would have kept us in relative comfort. For the most part, I personally have been in relative comfort. I can't think of anything, with the exception of my fingernails, that I had to sacrifice or couldn't get taken care of during any of the shutdowns that we've had with the pandemic. I mean, and did I need my nails done? No, not really. But was it a bother to me? Yes. So the fact that my nails were a bother to me during COVID, and the biggest bother to me during COVID, is pretty indicative of the amazing lifestyle that we have here. What I wanted to talk about with easy come, easy go was that things that come easy seldom last. Money, fame, fortune, influence, things that come really easy. Think of the whole 15 minutes of fame thing. It's a real phenomenon. 15 minutes of fame, you're famous, and then you're a nobody again. You're nobody, famous, nobody. Especially with social media, things change so quickly and so dramatically. You can be, superstar influencer, and somebody starts some negative rumors about you, or Twitter or Facebook or one of the Google or somebody decides that you're not person non grata, and you can be erased from the social media platform. Look at our president. If they can do that to former President Trump with the push of a button, and there have literally been zero to no consequences thus far, doesn't mean there won't be, but thus far, they have not faced any consequences except for losing billions of dollars and billions of followers. So that might be a consequence, but I don't think it faces them because they have so many billions of dollars. But you can lose everything overnight if you're building on a foundation of clay or a foundation of sand. It depends on what your base is. President Trump's going to be fine. He's got a base of well over half the country. I don't care what anybody says. Well over the half the country supports him and supports the changes to our political system and the world and the way things have done. The good old boys network, which is common in corporate America, the political way of doing things. It's going to implode itself. People are not going to sit back and tolerate it because it's not right. It's not constitutional. It's not what the foundation of America is based on. It's the same thing with short-term versus long-term strategies, tactics, hacks, cheat codes. I'm one of those moms that would never buy my son cheat codes for his video games, which irritated the daylights out of him because his friends would kick his butt until he actually got really, really good at the games. Because I think that if you take the easy way out, if you use the hacks and the shortcuts, they'll work in the short term. They'll get you instant gratification and short-term results, but they don't build the foundation and the skills that you need to create the long-term results that you want in your life. It's like being authentic and truthful in who you really are versus wearing a bunch of masks in the world. It's about acting out of what's right to you with integrity, creating real things in the world that make a difference and make the world an actual better place, not just that make your world a better place. If you're out to make the whole world a better place and people around you better, and however big you define that world, maybe making the world a better place in your mind is making your family solid and secure and a great setup for your family. I'm not even going to go there. But you decide what kind of an impact that you want to have. But you do that without hurting other people. And that's my qualification. My qualifier is that you're authentic, you're truthful, you're who you really are. You act with integrity and values and create real things in the world. You don't cheat your way or lie your way or have fraud or illegal activities to get your gains. I think of drug dealers. Now, drug dealing is, and I don't know anything about it. I'm totally naive, but I watch a lot of movies. Drug dealing, quick, short-term way to make money and survive. Doesn't really have a long-term outlook, right? If your choice of occupation is to be a drug dealer, the chances are very high that you're going to end up dead or in jail. Versus if you're going to become a business owner, an entrepreneur, it's going to take you longer to get hold and make your mark and create what it is that you want in the world. But that can survive a whole lot longer than being a drug dealer. I don't know if that's a great example, but it's what pops into my mind. Maybe because I just watched a really creepy movie the other day, and it was like, oh my gosh, who would want to choose that? But people make choices based on the information they have at the time, and often they feel like that is their only choice. It's like, you know, I am going to starve and not survive or have a place to live if I don't do this one thing. And whenever we look at our lives and our situations in absolutes, we end up making worse decisions than if we looked at the long range pictures. So easy come, easy go. Really interesting idiom. Really been around since 400 BC, some version of it in Chinese. And there's been movies, and, you know, there's an Elvis Presley movie, there's a book, there's a song, there's all kinds of things. And it's been popular my whole life. It was in a song in 1963. I was born in 60. So for the most part of my life, in the 1800s, the word easy was substituted for quickly or lightly come, lightly go. They all mean the same thing. You know, what comes really easily to you can slip away easily as well. But I meant to talk about the whole shortcuts, hacks versus in short-term approach to things versus the long-term approach to things. And I didn't talk about that, but I think it's important. And I think it's up to each and every one of us as human beings to decide what route and what path we're going to take. And again, it's going to depend on your situation, what you think you have to do to be successful, to live with yourself and to survive. Easy come, easy go. I think of people that are unfaithful in their relationships, right? People that cheat in their relationships tend to cheat in other areas and aspects of their life as well, just so you know. People that tend to be dishonest in one area or aspect of their life will give themselves permission to be dishonest, unethical, or troublesome in other areas of their life. So, you know, when we beat up politicians or get rid of them because they've been unfaithful to their spouses, guess what? That probably is a good move, because the probability is that they're being unethical in other areas or aspects of their life as well, even if it's just because they're being blackmailed and made to do things that they wouldn't otherwise do, but because it goes against their ethics and their morals and their values. But once you give yourself permission to cross that line in the sand of what's right and wrong for you, it becomes a very quick and slippery slope, more like a mudslide to negative behavior. Do we all have a tendency to walk that line sometimes? Sure we do. It's called human behavior, and it's how we learn. It's how we figure out what is right and what isn't right for us, what feels good for us and what doesn't feel good for us. So can you tell I'm doing a 365-day challenge this year about centering and figuring out what's right for us and what feels good to us? Today's challenge, day 27. It's the 27th of the year already. It was about, it's a 2-day one. All that matters is love and work, said by Sigmund Freud, of course. And so today we're supposed to share what matters the most in our love life. And so we did that. I actually did that already today. And that's it. I'm getting ready over here for the next Get Up and Go challenge. February 1st, we're going to take off with that. And I'm creating a couple fun different things to do with that, and some different strategies and ways of approaching it that I think will be fun and beneficial. So if somebody's gone through the challenge before, they can do it again and they'll benefit a ton. Why do I do that? Because I've gone through it 5 times before, and I want to make it a little more different and exciting and fun and inclusive and hands-on active for myself as well as for the people that participate in the challenge. So that will be beginning February 1st on, of course, the Get Up and Go Challenge Facebook page. I was thinking about doing it in LinkedIn. I might create a page in LinkedIn and do it simultaneously, but I haven't decided just yet if that's what I'm going to do. All you have to do is go to the Get Up and Go Challenge page and like the page, and you will get the daily notifications. If you sign up for daily notifications, you'll get notified every day when I go live and I actually do that. Haven't decided what time of day I'm going to do that. We've got a baby coming, and I'm going to have to be out of the house for a little bit when the baby comes, just so my daughter and her husband can figure out what it's like to be brand new parents. Boy, I remember those days. So freaking scary. My first 2 weeks with my son. Nobody, no matter how much they train you and they teach you. I wasn't a babysitter when I was younger, and I just remember he was just such a tiny little human, and it was so interesting. You know, my ex-husband and I getting used to having a brand new baby. It was definitely fun and interesting and challenging as well. And he turned out awesome, and so did my daughter, so I'm sure their baby will be awesome as well. So that means I'm not sure exactly what time or where I'm going to be doing my challenge. I might go to Texas, visit my mom. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. And you know, with babies, you never know exactly when they're going to come, so my plans have to be pretty fluid and flexible. If I can help you in any way, if you have any questions about challenges, quality, sanitation, 27 different businesses and industries offline, corporate America, you know, being the only woman in a corporate environment, anything like that, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow, share what I'm doing as I transition from the brick and mortar world to the online world. And there's a lot of craziness involved with that. All right, have an amazing day, and I'll be with you tomorrow.